He is from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He joins us right now. And Ray Fittipaldo. Ray, so people are saying, even though the Bills and the Chiefs have a better record right now, a lot of people once again are saying that the Steelers have the best team currently in the AFC. What's the team itself saying about that?
Yeah, I think this team has a quiet confidence about themselves right now. I think, just talking to the players over the last month or so since Russell Wilson took over as the quarterback, it's different from previous years. They snuck in as a 6 seed last year, 7 seed in previous years. And I think this team right now has a chance to win the AFC North. And depending on what happens the rest of the season, with the Chiefs and some of the other teams in the AFC, they got a chance of being the 1 or the 2 seed as well. So it's a really a different feeling around this team right now. And 7 games to go, really tough schedule. But this team is better. I think this is the best Steelers team since 2017.
Wow.
When they won the AFC North and they were the 2 seed in the AFC.
So, Ray, we were just talking about that. I don't know if you heard the segment before, but we were talking about how the Steelers, of course, how does Mike Tomlin do it every year? It's not like, outside of Pittsburgh, they have those expectations because, okay, how are they piecing this together? How are they every season not having a losing record with the squad that they have? Are expectations raised now among Steelers fans out there? Do they expect more since this team has gotten off to a great start?
Oh, absolutely. Before the season, I think everyone in this town thought, maybe 9-8, a good season, maybe sneak into the playoffs, 10-7. But right now they're in position to maybe win 12 or 13 games. The Steelers haven't been, really this good in about 6 or 7 years. So, the expectations are raised. I think the people in Pittsburgh now, the owner, Art Rooney, laid down the mandate after last season ended with that loss in Buffalo. He wants playoff wins now. This team has been a perennial playoff contender. They have not won a playoff game since 2016. So People around here think it's time, and this team certainly has a chance to change those fortunes.
Obviously, Mike Tomlin, he can write his own ticket. He's going to be a Hall of Fame coach when it's all said and done and whatnot. Once again, we say he's never had a losing record in his coaching career since he's been with the Steelers. But you mentioned not being able to win in the playoffs. Now expectations are being raised. It's not heat on him, but still, the Steelers fans, they can be tough sometimes. I hear them around the nation, not even in Pittsburgh. What's to talk about Mike Tomlin getting it done in the playoffs now that his team has done what they needed to do in the regular season and proving that they're one of the best teams in the AFC?
Yeah, listen, there's going to be no heat on Mike Tomlin from ownership. He just signed a new contract in the summer right before training camp, so he's here for the long haul. As long as Mike Tomlin wants to be the coach of the Steelers, he's going to be the coach of the Steelers. Now, the fan perspective is certainly something completely different. And this is a town that has 6 Super Bowl championships. They haven't had the last one since 2008, so it's going on 14, 15 years now. So, they want to get back there and taste that, that postseason magic once again. This team, like I said, I think it's got as good a chance as any. That 2017 team that I mentioned, number 2 seed, they got upset in their first playoff game at home to the Jaguars. So they'll be hoping to avoid a similar fate this year.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere when it comes to ownership. But if Steelers fans don't appreciate Mike Tomlin, I'm pretty sure there are 29 other teams out there that would love to have his services, starting with the Dallas Cowboys over there and TJ and those guys. But he made the move this year. Obviously, made the quarterback switch. Even when they had the winning record, when the team was moving along, the offense may not have been humming, but they were winning football games. Russell Wilson gets healthy, gets inserted into the starting lineup, and they haven't lost since. And the offense has seemed to look better. What has he added to this offense?
Yeah, Russell Wilson is a really good deep ball thrower, and he's unlocked George Pickens as a top receiver in the NFL. The first 6 games, the Steelers went 4-2 with Justin Fields at quarterback. And, George Pickens in most of those games was either invisible or he would make a play here and there. But, Fields just wasn't on the same page with him. Russell Wilson comes in, now this past week against the Ravens, 12 targets for George Pickens, a big 37-yard bomb to set up a field goal, very important field goal in that game. So the deep passing game has been opened up. And listen, there's no doubt about it. This team is built on the run. They want to pound you. They want to be physical. But Russell Wilson is just that vet quarterback with that touch on his passes. And that's nothing against Justin Fields. He was great as a runner. He managed his team to wins. But Russ just brings that little something extra that's been key for this team in this 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, you can never have too many weapons, and obviously, like you said, Wilson and Pickens have had that chemistry, and they've been on the right page, but they just got Mike Williams, too. What's the game plan to get him a little bit more involved in the offense?
Yeah, it's interesting. 36 snaps in his first 2 games as a Steeler, only 1 target. Now, is it going to happen tonight against the Browns? Short week, you don't really have time to get that chemistry down with Wilson, so I don't know if it happens tonight, Mike, but I do think down the stretch here, Mike Williams is going to be an important part of this offense. You put Pickens on one side, you put Williams on the other. They're going to have to pick their poison. And if they double team both, the middle of the field is going to be open for Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. They're 2 very good pass catching tight ends. So this is a team that maybe lacked a big play receiver before the acquisition of Mike Williams. But now that they have him, I think they're going to be a much more dangerous team down the stretch.
Ray, I don't know why we're spending so much time on the offense. This is my fault because I'm asking you these questions right now because we know, once again, the running game, but it's the defense. The reason why the Steelers team has been so good this year, led by T.J. Watt, obviously. 4 times this season that they've won games when the offense has scored 20 points or less. I think 2 games this season when they've only kicked field goals, they have not scored a touchdown. Reminds me of the 2000 Ravens so much of that defense back in the day when they were so special with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and those guys. Does the defense have a mindset of knowing, hey, we got to be special every single week and we're going to be special because we might not get a lot of help from the offense?
Yeah, listen, they got the highest paid defense in the NFL. Everyone on that defense knows what's up. There are going to be some weeks like the Ravens game where they're going to have to go out there and play really good football, and that's what they did. Now, the Steelers have been built on defense the last couple of years, Mike, but I think the big difference this year, they've added a ton of speed, and they've added it to the inside linebacking core. They went out and drafted Peyton Wilson, and I think everyone saw that great play that he made to help save that win against the Ravens. And they went out and signed Patrick Queen, the former Raven, and he's just transformed the middle of that defense. A little bit of a slow start for Queen, but he's been playing lights out the last 2 weeks. And, one criticism over the Steelers the last couple of years is maybe a little bit slow on the inside. They're not slow anymore. Those guys are making a bunch of plays.
All right, they're having a great season, but they can't overlook any team. Even the Cleveland Browns are capable of winning in the National Football League. The 2 losses they got this year against the Colts and the Cowboys, you look back at those losses and like, how did they lose those games? So what's the mindset of just knowing that they have to finish strong against teams that they should be, like Cleveland and Cincinnati down the stretch, knowing that they got a tougher schedule coming up with 3 straight games against the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens?
Yeah, one interesting thing that happened last week with the Chiefs losing in Buffalo, the Steelers control their own fate for the top seed in the AFC. If they win out, they got the tiebreakers over the Chiefs and Bills. So it starts with game night in Cleveland. You can't drop these. They got the Bengals twice after that. The Bengals have a losing record, but they're still a dangerous team. So, you can't overlook the Browns. Nick Chubb is back. He's slowly rounding back into form, but this is a game the Steelers can and they should win. And if they do, they'll be in great position, going down the stretch to get a top seed.
All right, before I let you go, finish this sentence for me. The Steelers will get to the Super Bowl if?
The Steelers will get to the Super Bowl if Russell Wilson and that offense improve in the red zone. Right now, 30th in the league. They can get that percentage up, maybe be about 15 or 20 by season's end. I think they can get there.
All right, Ray, we'll see what happens with the Steelers down the stretch. We really appreciate you joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Man. Safe travels to Cleveland, my brother.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.